For CED Magazine's Live from the Show, I'm Stuart Schley. We're in Orlando at day 2 of the SCTE Cable-Tec Expo 2012. I'm with Steve Davey, the CTO of SeaChange International. Good to see you, Steve.
Same here, good morning.
I am struck by the fact as I look around this show that this industry reinvents itself like no other, constantly. It's in a constant state of reinvention. You guys too at SeaChange have had a kind of a transformative year. Can you talk about that since last year's SCTE, what's been happening?
Yeah, I mean, I like to look at it as SeaChange is on our third wave of a dramatic transformation, kind of the third SeaChange at SeaChange, right? We had our first when we first introduced ad insertion and dramatically changed the way the cable industry did local ad insertion. And then second was when we introduced VOD and literally changed the way people watch television. And now today, with the introduction of smartphones and tablets, people are just have so many different ways in which they can consume video. And we're in the thick of that in terms of providing those solutions that can deliver multi-screen video and changing what's going on. So over the last year, a lot of the changes internally within the company have really been focused around bringing all of our software together in a way to make sure that we're focusing on the delivery, personalization, and monetization of multi-screen video.
It's been interesting because I've, as a journalist, followed the company's progression through those waves, and when you look at what's going on at the show today, you've got a lot of different demos and booths and areas here. What are you showing? What's new here?
Yeah, so there's three main areas that we're showing. We're showing the Adrenaline product, which is really the core platform on which we build all of our other products. And the Adrenaline product is worrying about how do I determine what I'm going to actually show to a consumer, what's going to be available for them, and then worrying about the resources to be able to stream that to them. And so it's going to bring together things like recommendation and search and promotions and offers and all of that to determine what do I show this consumer at this point in time on this device in this location. And then on top of that, we have our Infusion product, which is all about advertising, all about how do we insert advertising to make money off of that delivery. And so it does the ability to insert into linear broadcast television as well as on demand, multi-screen, companion apps, second screen apps in terms of advertising. And then the third area is our Nucleus product, which is software that runs on our in-home media gateway. And this enables a service provider to do a transition from an HFC network to an IP network. So the in-home media gateway goes into the home, connects up to the HFC plant, but then enables you to transfer your video to IP or DLNA-enabled devices throughout the home. And so, you know, the Adrenaline and the Nucleus products both integrate, or the Infusion and Nucleus products both integrate into the Adrenaline product to provide a complete end-to-end solution for what we provide to service providers.
You and I were sitting here prior to rolling the camera, and you've got an iPad with your UI on it, and I was lamenting to you that I'm having trouble finding movies that I really feel compelled to watch, and that's a segue for you to talk about what you're doing in that area.
Yeah, so one of the new things that we're showing is our Nitro UI, which is our HTML5 user interface for consumers, right? We provide this to service providers. They can brand it with their logo, their color, or change the scheme whichever way they want. But the main value of what we're providing with Nitro is the ability for consumers to be able to find content very easily, right? The problem we have with the industry today is that there are so many different places for consumers to go watch video, whether they're going to Hulu or Netflix or to Xfinity On Demand or Fios On Demand or going to their local DVR. And that's a good thing for them that they have these choices, but the bad thing is that it's really hard for them to find what do I want to watch.
Right.
And so the whole idea behind Nitro is to bring that all together using the power of Adrenaline in the cloud to pull all together all these sources of information for them to quickly find what they want to watch, whether it's through recommendations, through social media, through searching of extended metadata. It just enables them to spend more time enjoying their content and less time trying to find it.
It sounds like an enormously complicated endeavor on the back end. I guess that's your job, right? But the idea is to make it fairly simple and intuitive on the consumer side.
Absolutely. You know, the consumers will give up very quickly. You know, generally they'll go look and see what's available on broadcast television. They might look on their DVR, and then after that they usually just give up, right?
Yeah.
They're exhausted.
Right.
They'll watch something they don't really want to watch.
Right.
And with the idea with Nitro is help them find what they want to watch regardless of how it's being delivered to them.
I think the motif you presented at the outset, the third wave for SeaChange, tracks and corresponds very much to a third wave, I think, for the cable industry as we move to this multi-screen, IP, rendered world of tonnage and volume and choice. So it's a great way to kind of encapsulate what's going on at SCTE. Steve, we appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. For CED Magazine and live from the show from SCTE Cable-Tec Expo 2012, this is Stuart Schley.